Hello children, continuing with chapter light. Here we are going to learn about one more application of rectilinear propagation of light, that is shadow. Now what is shadow? You all must be familiar with the word, isn't it? Um, when we place an opaque object between the source of light and a screen, it blocks the path of the light, forming a dark area on the screen. This dark area is known as the shadow of the object. Okay. Now look at this. I have a pencil. This pencil is opaque object, and you see that it is between the source of light and the screen. Here the screen is what? Here the screen is this paper. Okay. You can you see the a dark patch on the paper, isn't it, which looks like pencil? Okay, this dark area is the shadow of this pencil. Okay, then when you are standing in sunlight also, you must have noticed a dark area behind you, isn't it? That dark area is the shadow. At night also, when you are walking towards light, then you have at your back you can have your image, isn't it? Then what are the conditions necessary for the formation of a shadow? To form a shadow, to form a shadow, we need a source of light. Okay, if there is no light source, then a shadow cannot be formed. There has to be an opaque body that will obstruct the path of the light. Okay, if there is no obstruction on the path of the light, then no shadow will be formed. And there has to be an opaque screen to obtain the shadow. Okay, because shadow cannot be formed in air. Okay. Now you take a cellophane paper, a piece of oiled white paper and a stainless steel utensil, and then you try to cast shadows for each one of them. What will you notice? That the opaque object, okay, that is the steel utensil, it will cast a dark shadow. Then you have oiled paper that is translucent and it will cast a weak shadow, and the cellophane paper that is transparent will not cast any shadow. Okay, what are the characteristics of shadow then? A shadow is always a dark area. Whatever may be the color of the object, you will always get a black shadow. Okay, no matter whatever the color of the object is. Okay, because shadows do not show the color of object. Then a shadow may or may not look like the actual shape of the object. Now look at this figure in your book. See, this is a teddy bear, um, and we have a torch in front of the teddy bear. Okay, so light from the torch is casting a shadow of the teddy bear on the screen at the back. Okay, here you are getting the image of the teddy bear. Okay, now what you do, you just rotate either the object or the light in a different direction. You will observe that the shape of the shadow will change. Now the shape of the shadow that is behind this teddy bear, is it looking like the teddy bear? No. Why? Because the uh, uh, direction of the source of light is changed. Okay, so a shadow may or may not look like the actual shape of the object. Then what is the third characteristics? That a shadow can only be formed on a screen. Now you hold this object against this is the open window. Okay, there is no screen, okay, behind. So you are holding an object over here against this open window, and there is no screen over here. Then when you flash a beam of light on the object, is there any shadow visible over here? No. Why? Because shadow cannot be formed in the air. Okay, it can be only formed on a screen. Okay, and the screen should not be placed too far away from the object. Okay, any flat object, flat opaque object can act as a screen, but the screen should not be placed too far away from the object. Then coming to the fourth characteristics of shadow is that the size of the shadow depends on the distance of the object from the source of light and the screen. Now look at these figures. Okay, here we have a toy placed between the source of light and the screen. Here the toy is moved closer to the source of light, and here the toy is moved closer to the screen. Now can you see the three images? What is the difference? In this, when the source of light or when the opaque object is closer to the source of light, you will see that there is a blurred image on the screen. Okay. Now when you bring this opaque object closer to the screen, okay, this object is placed closer to the screen, then you will see that the size of the shadow is decreasing. Here it is increased, here it will decrease. When you get an increased shadow, then the shadow is blurred. Okay, it does not have sharp edges. Here you see we are getting a distinct sharp edged shadow on the screen. Why? Because this is closer to the screen. Now when it is moved a little farther away from the screen, then we are getting, this is placed between the source of light and the screen. Here you see that this image we are getting is not as distinct as this one. Okay, so the more closer the opaque object is to the screen, the more sharper shadow you will get. When it is moved away from the screen towards the source of light, then the shadow turns grayish and the edges become blurred. Okay, here it is a dark black color and here it is grayish color and the edges have become blurred. Okay. Now, a shadow always consists of two regions. One is the umbra and another one is the penumbra. Okay. Now, suppose we have let me draw something. Suppose this is a torch. Okay. This is a torch and light from this torch is coming and hitting. This is a ball. Okay, and behind this I have placed a screen. Okay, when the rays of the light from the torch they come and strike the ball, they light travels in straight line, so this ray of light will come and hit the screen over here. So the area over here, it will be a dark area. Okay, and but then this ray of light will also pass from the top of the ball and here it will go like this, and this area is what, it is slightly darker. Okay, this is dark area and this is grayish color area. Okay, this dark central dark region of the shadow is known as umbra. and the outer less dark region is known as the penumbra. Okay, the formation of this umbra and the penumbra, it depends upon the size of the light source and the distance between the object and the screen. Okay, umbra and penumbras are formed, but it depends upon the size of light source and the distance between the object and the screen. Okay. In the next video, I'll be explaining about point source and extended source of light and shadows formed by them. Okay, hope till here you all have understood. Go through the chapter 2 to 3 times so that you clear your doubts. Thank you.